Monsieur le Président,
Mr. Speaker, on the 27th of February, the Prime Minister said in this House that he believed that the presence of Jasper Atwal during his trip to India was linked to Indian government factions. But later, the Indian government said that the Prime Minister's version was false. Someone is not telling the truth. Is it the Prime Minister or the Indian government? The Right Honourable the Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, on this side of the House, if we have a choice between believing the professional, non-partisan members of our public service in terms of security or believing anyone else who says the contrary, we are always going to believe our professional, high-quality civil servants. The Right Honourable Leader of the Opposition. Mr. Speaker, on the 27th of February, the Prime Minister said in this House that he believed that the presence of Jasper Atwal during his trip to India was linked to Indian government factions. However, on the 3rd of March, the Liberal MP from Surrey Centre said that he was the one who had passed on the name of Atwal to the Prime Minister's cabinet. Someone is not telling the truth. Is it the Prime Minister or the Liberal MP for Surrey Centre? The Honourable Leader, Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, as you know, the Liberal MP in question took responsibility for his role in this, for having proffered the invitation. However, we know that our security experts, our professional and non-partisan experts drew their own conclusions, and we on this side of the House respect the work of our public service, and we believe what our officials tell us. Mr. Speaker, on the 27th of February, the Prime Minister said in this House that he believed that the presence of Jasper Atwal at his trip to India was linked to Indian government factions. However, on the 9th of March, Mr. Atwal denied that the Indian government had anything to do with his presence during that trip. Someone is not telling the truth. Is it the Prime Minister or is it Jasper Atwal? The Right Honourable the Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, the members opposite can choose to believe whomever they wish to believe. However, we in the government, we on this side of the House, will always believe our senior non-partisan officials, especially when it comes to national security. Our senior officials are in a very good position to understand where the truth lies. And after 10 years of the Harper government, well, we in the government respect our senior officials.
On February 27th, the Prime Minister told this House that he believed that Jasper Atwal's presence on the India trip was linked to factions in the Indian government. But on March 11th, the Foreign Affairs Minister confirmed that she was taking responsibility, telling the Indian government that Atwal's invitation was an honest mistake. Now, Mr. Speaker, someone's not telling the truth here. Is it the Prime Minister or is it the Minister of Foreign Affairs?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, once again, when it comes to believing our Minister of Foreign Affairs, our top civil servants in security matters, in MPs who take responsibility. On this side of the government, we believe them. We support the extraordinary people who work all across our government. The members opposite consistently discounted the advice of public servants, and even attacked public servants when they didn't find that they aligned with their political ideologies. On this side of the point of this aisle, Mr. Speaker, we trust the professionals in our public service.
Excellent. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister cannot have it both ways. These statements are mutually exclusive. Either there were factions inside the Indian government who corroborated to have this individual on the trip, or, as his Minister of Foreign Affairs and the member for Surrey Centre have said, they were acting alone. Someone's not telling the truth. No less than 4 different players have either dismissed the Prime Minister's conspiracy theory or directly contradicted it. So will he finally substantiate his claims, or will he admit that his conspiracy theory is completely baseless?
The Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, for 10 years under Stephen Harper, Conservatives ignored, belittled, diminished the work of our professional, nonpartisan public servants. We committed to Canadians 2 years ago in the election that we would once again respect them, support them, and allow them to do their professional work with the integrity that they have always shown. We continue to support that public service, and unfortunately the Conservatives stay in the same bad habits that Stephen Harper established for 10 years.